Hi, hello, and welcome back to day 2 of our 7-day self-love challenge with UPLIFT Healthy Lifestyle. Today we are focusing on connecting with ourselves. That's just one of the ways in which we can start to increase the love for ourselves. And if you have the workbook, which you can access through the links down below, the workbook has some journal prompts around releasing shame. And with that idea of release, today's practice, the yoga flow, includes a lot of hip opening. So the hips tend to be an area of the body that hold on to our emotions, whether we want it to or not. And so finding ways to release, which will be through some of these hip opening exercises, hopefully that will help the body to start release, emotions, including feelings of shame. But then also you can help the mind to release it as well. So again, any of the links are below to get the workbook, to see the other videos, because again, we've got 7 days. Today's only day 2. And with that, we'll go ahead and start. So we're in a seated posture today. So I'm crisscross applesauce. You can also find Sukhasana, which is one foot in front of the other, and it can be either foot. You could also sit on a block or a bolster to help raise the hips up a little if that's more comfortable for you. And then we'll just simply close the eyes or take the gaze to the floor. Spine is upright, but keep it a little soft. We don't need to be stick straight. Hands are soft on the knees. Shoulders are relaxed. And we're simply beginning by focusing on the breath. Bringing awareness to each inhale and each exhale as they move through your body. Connecting with ourselves today, also connecting the breath with our movement. Lengthening those inhales now to a count of 4 or 5 and matching the exhales to that same count. And now, again, starting to connect movement with breath. As we inhale, staying in this seated position, the chest starts to lift up, the gaze is up. So it's starting to create a little arch in the back here. And then as you exhale, navel draws backwards as the shoulders round and the head comes down. Inhaling, opening up. Exhaling, rounding down. So seated cat-cows here. Let's find 2 more. Last one. And then come back to that starting position. Staying seated, let's find a seated butterfly here, or Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet together. The knees are wide. Distance of the feet to the body can be whatever's comfortable for you. The closer they are, a little more intense the stretch. Further away is a little less intense. And of course, you can also do this from seated on a block as well. But the hands come to the feet. Maybe give yourself a little foot massage just to help to release some tension in those feet. The hands will be pulling up, pulling up on the feet. At the same time, our elbows come into the meat of our calves, and those elbows are pressing down. Come here with a nice long spine as you start to hinge at the hips. The hands pulling up, the elbows pressing down, the spine lengthening here. Inhaling, exhaling. Keep breathing. One more inhale. And as you exhale, you can release the arms, the hands soften, and then slowly come up. Hands outside the knees, draw them together, give yourself a nice hug. We're going to come down to our backs now. We've got quite a bit of work on our backs. And again, a lot of this work is going to be within those hips. So come all the way down. The feet are planted about hip width apart. The arms can be alongside the body here, palms pressing down. We're going to start with pelvic pulses. So we're simply taking the low back, pressing it down as the pelvis tilts and that tailbone starts to curl up. And then we change direction. That tailbone points down as that low back comes off the mat. Belly button draws down, tailbone up. And then tailbone down, belly button up. Exhaling as that belly button draws down. Inhaling as we come up. Let's find several more here. Inhaling. Exhaling. I just got those backwards. Inhale here. And then exhale. Inhale. Exhale. You can emphasize this movement as much or as little as is comfortable for you. Let's find two more. Belly up and tailbone down. Belly down and tailbone up. And then come back to a neutral space. The feet come a little wider here, and we'll dip one knee down and then the other with some windshield wipers. Wipers can be as fast or slow as you choose, finding what works in your body today. Coming back to center, pulling the knees up into the chest, give yourself a nice hug here. Hands on top of each knee. We're going to take the knees in opposite circles. So each knee is going to draw its own circle. We'll start by pulling the knees in. Each knee goes to the outside and then away from the body, drawing in and back to the body. Open, out, together, in. Connecting with that breath, exhaling as they come in and inhaling on the open. So inhale, outward and open. Exhale as they come together and pull in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So the movement is slow here so you can match the breath. You want nice, long, even breaths. Let's find two more in this direction. And now as we change direction, the knees stay together as they move away from the body, then open and drawing in. So together, out, open, and in. Together, out, open, in. Connecting with the breath again, moving away from the body as your inhale. Exhaling as they come out and in. Inhale. Exhale. Finding two more here. Out, open, in. Out, open, in. Nice work. Pause here, giving yourself a nice hug. Noticing how those hips are feeling as we've gotten some dynamic movement into those joints. And now coming into a supine butterfly or Supta Baddha Konasana. So the feet come together, or the knees are wide. Hands can be on top of the belly here. You could even take one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart if you choose. And connecting with your breath here. Feeling the rise and the fall of the belly. One more deep inhale. Full exhale. Hands come outside the knees here. Just gently pull them in together. Pull the knees into the chest. Coming into a happy baby pose. The elbows, the arms come inside the knees and the hands come to the outside of each foot. Then you bring the knees downwards towards the outsides of the armpits. So our feet are pressing towards the ceiling. Our knees are drawing down towards the earth. The tailbone presses down to help ground you. So the length of your spine here, connecting with the mat. Actively using the hands to draw down, shoulders plugging into the earth, and then soften, just release, staying in the pose, but not actively pulling, drawing attention. Release your right foot here. Take that left knee across the body, going for a supine twist. Letting the exhales help release you into the pose. And let's return to center. Coming back into that happy baby. Grounding through the spine. And then release that left leg. The right knee comes across the body, finding the twist on this side. And releasing back to center. From here, both feet plant down, coming into a figure four. Let's keep that left leg planted. The right ankle comes to the top of that knee, and the left knee draws in towards the torso. Hands can come behind the thigh or to the shin. Another option is to extend that left leg. Both feet are flexed here, helping to protect the knees. And of course, continuing to breathe. And release that foot down. Uncross the legs now. Our right foot plants and our left ankle comes to the top of that right knee. Right knee comes in towards the torso, hands to the thigh or shin. Option to extend that leg. Feet are flexed. Deep breathing here. And release that right foot down, uncross, staying on our backs here. Take the knees into the chest, float the feet up, take the feet wide. So we're in Supta Konasana here. The legs are wide, hands can be outside the legs if you need to. The feet are slightly flexed here. We've got Supta Konasana twist. The hands can be out to your side, teed out to your side. With these wide legs, flexed feet, we're going to take the legs to one side. Try to keep the angle and use your core. Draw that belly button in as we come back to center and over to the other side. Belly pulls in as we return through center to to twist, drawing in and twist. Let's do one more just like this and return to center. Now adding on from here, use that belly button, draw it down as you take the legs to one side. That upper leg closes down, feeling that twist a bit more, then open, take the legs over. Now the new top leg closes. Bring it back up, swing them over. Use your inhale to take the leg up into center, exhaling as you twist it the other side. Let's find one more on each side. And then bring the legs back up through center. Hands to outsides of the legs. Bend the knees. Give them a nice hug. You might feel that in through your hip flexors, into the outer thighs. Feet plant to the ground here. We've got one more practice while we're on our back. So the feet about hip width apart, setting up for our bridge pumps. So bridge pumps is a dynamic bridge motion where we peel the hips up. We don't come into a full bridge pose, maybe between 50 and 75%. At the same time, we're lifting the arms, come overhead, and then we exhale. Roll that spine back down as the arms return to starting position. So we've got 10 of these. Inhaling, peel the spine up, arms overhead. Exhaling, spine lowers as the hands return. Should have about 2 more. Nice work. Now draw the knees into the chest once more. Sway the knees from side to side. Now you can roll to one side here to come up, or you can rock and roll back and forth. We're coming to the top of our mats here. However you choose to get there. And we're going to continue this rounding and opening from a standing position. So in this pelvic rocking exercise, let's bring the hands out in front of us, almost as if we were holding on to some kind of a beach ball. On the inhale, we're opening up the chest, lifting the gaze, a slight arch through the back here. And then as we exhale, round, that belly button pulls down, the shoulders round down. Maybe the knees are bending here. Inhale, opening. Exhale, closing. Inhale, opening. Exhale, closing. Keep moving. As I open and pull everything back up, the shoulder blades start to come together, helping to open the heart. Last one here. Come back to center. You can find one last opening as the arms drop down, and then release to a neutral spine. From the top of our mat here, inhale the arms up, hands through center, bend the knees into your forward fold. Soften the head down. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the hands. Let's step to our plank pose. Nice strong plank here. And then knees come down, chin and chest into our belly. Shoulders roll back. Inhale, lifting head and chest for our baby cobra. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale. And lower. Coming through tabletop into our downward facing dog. The hands are pressing away. The spine is long and bending those knees as much as needed to help lengthen through that spine. Fly that right leg here. Pull the knee into the chest. Plant the foot down. Knee comes down in the back. Coming into Anjaneyasana. Press that front foot. The arms sweep up here. Belly's pulling in. You're feeling an opening perhaps through the front of this hip of the back leg. Stay with me here. Tuck these back toes. We're popping that back knee up through a crescent. Back heel drops. Warrior two. Elbow to knee. Bicep to ear extended side angle. Those top ribs rolling open here. And then inhale, coming up through warrior two. Straighten the front leg, toes point forward. So our feet are parallel. Arms reach high. Feet pressing down and away, opposite directions. Arms rising up and away, opposite directions. Feel that energy. Heels come in. Bend the knees for our goddess pose. Maybe sway back and forth as you start to settle in. Those knees should be opening backwards. You don't want them rolling forwards. Belly pulls in. Both arms up, legs straighten. Feet become parallel once again. And then open up into your warrior two. Straighten that front leg, triangle pose. Front arm forward, take it down. The opposite arm to the sky. Check that that top shoulder is over the top, stacked of that lower shoulder. So come up higher on the leg if you need to. Now release slightly. That top arm comes down as we start to rotate through the torso. That arm, that hand plants, and then the opposite arm comes out to the side. Revolve triangle. Driving in through that back heel, micro bend in this front leg. And of course, if you need a block here, you can always find that option. It helps to ground down a little bit more. Releasing here, bend through that front leg. Back heel kicks up, front foot to the outer edge of the mat. Knee down as we find a lizard pose. So the hands are in line with that front heel. If this is too intense for your wrist, you can come down to the forearms and the elbows are still in line. The elbows are what are in line with the heel then. Another option is for the block or two to help raise the floor up, and then also freeing the wrist. This front leg stays stacked over this ankle. Some variations have you open that leg, but we're going to keep it stacked here. Continue to breathe. This is a real juicy stretch. When we stretch out the muscles as intensely, that's where we start to notice a little bit of a release if we can breathe through it. One more deep inhale. Exhaling, coming up. the hips start to shift back a little, and then bring that front leg into your tabletop, coming down into a child's pose. So the sit bones slide back to find the heels, the forehead to the mat. Arms extend here. Deep inhale. Full exhale. Our vinyasa flow here, rounding the back upward. As we come forward, the hips descend, the elbows bend slightly, and the chest pulls forward into a hanging cobra. Hips slide back, child's pose. Inhale, rounded back, coming up. Hips descend, chest opens. Nice work. Now take it through table, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Fly that left leg here, pull the knee in, step that foot down. The back knee drops, Anjaneyasana, reaching up. Belly's pulling in here, maybe noticing a stretch through the front of this hip. Hands coming down. Back toe tucks. Pop that knee up. Opening up as that back heel drops down into our warrior two and extended side angle. Elbow to the thigh, bicep near the ear, and those top ribs roll open. On your inhale, back up into warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Turn that front foot so it's parallel with the back. Heels, keep the feet parallel. 5-pointed star. Feet pressing down and away. The arms reaching up and away. Then the heels come in, coming down into that goddess pose. A little shimmy if you need it. Sinking down. Knees are opening. Belly's pulling in. Straighten the legs, toes forward, arms extend, and then we take that front foot to point forward. That back heel shifts back a little further as we come into our triangle pose. Slide it forward, drop it down, opposite arm to the sky. Shoulders stack, so coming up higher if you need. Nice work. Come up just a little here. We're taking that top arm, rotating it over to come to the shin, and then that opposite arm reaching out behind you. Revolve triangle. Release that. As we bend that front knee and come down into our lizard pose, front foot to the outer edge of the mat with his toes pointing out 45 degrees. Same thing here, hands, the back of the hands in line with the heels, or coming down with the elbows in line with the heel. And finally, an option to raise the floor up with any props you might have, blocks, could be a bolster, a folded blanket. Check that that front knee is stacked over the ankle. Breathing here. One more deep inhale. Coming up if you're on your forearms, then starting to shift the hips back, then move that leg. Coming through table, and then finding our child's pose. Forehead to the mat, arms extend. Deep inhale. Full exhale. Next inhale, that back rounds as we come up. Slide the hips forward, open the heart. Hanging cobra. Exhale, come back to child's pose. Inhale, round up, pull it forward, release. Take it back now, tabletop, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Moving here into our pigeon pose. Fly that right leg, pull the knee into the chest. That right foot turns to the left side. Knee behind the wrist. Left leg extends behind you. Puff the chest here. And then come down to the forearms as an option. You can stay on the hands if you choose. Coming to the forearms creates a little more softness and helps to release through the neck and shoulders. Trying to keep the hips square here. You can place a block or other prop under this hip if you need to for support. One more deep inhale. As you exhale, rolling onto that right hip, let's pull that left leg around. We'll find a seated twist here. So the left leg plants the outside of that right knee. Our right arm rises up. Those ribs move towards the knee. Then you can bring the arm around or outside. And then the left hand comes behind. Lengthen upwards as you inhale. And then soften into that twist as you exhale. And release. We'll take that left leg to the side here as we come through table into our downward facing dog. And we'll set up pigeon on the other side. So flying that left leg, knee comes into the chest, pivot that foot outward to the right, knee behind the wrist, slide the back foot out, puff the chest as you inhale, an option for the forearms. Taking a moment here to connect with the body, tuning in on what you're feeling. We've done both sides of the flow. We've done both sides of pigeon pose. Maybe starting to feel that release through the hips. Take one more deep inhale here. As you exhale, coming up, rolling onto that left hip. Right leg swings around, plant it outside the opposite knee. Left hand reaches up, move those ribs first, then bring the arm around or outside. Right hand plants behind, lengthen as you inhale, and then exhale as you soften. And release. Staying seated, we'll uncross the legs. We'll come into a wide leg seated position here. So, of course, the wider the legs go, the more intense the stretch. And you can have the knees bent a little here if you choose. The toes are pointing up to the sky. From here, reaching the arms up, bring the arms parallel, then slide them forward. When you can't reach any further, drop it down. Wide-legged forward bend. Inhale, come up partway, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, descend back down. Inhale up a little, lengthen, exhale, take it down. Stay here, 2 full breaths. Next inhale, Walk the hands up as you exhale, hands to the outsides of the legs and draw them in. Nice and slow. Give yourself a hug here. Nice work through that flow. We'll come down into our final resting pose, which is a supine butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana. We'll stay there for several breaths, and then we'll come to sit and finish with a breathing exercise to help balance us out. So as you come onto your back for your resting pose, soles of the feet together, knees apart, option for the hands to come to the pelvis, or they can be alongside the body in a comfortable position here. We'll be here for 5 full breaths. Inhale, filling that belly, the ribs. Feel those side ribs expand. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more here on your own. All right, nice full exhale. Hands to the outsides of the legs. Gently let the knees pull in towards each other and then in towards the chest. Sway the knees side to side. This time we'll just roll to one side and very gently bring ourselves up to sit. Comfortable seating pose that's going to work for you. We're going to take a longer breathing exercise here. 10 nice long breaths. I'll guide you through it, but it's 4-4 balanced breath. 4-4 meaning we have 4 counts on the inhale, 4 counts on the exhale. And it's a balancing breath, so it helps to bring us back to a neutral state. This breathing exercise can be practiced any point in the day. If you're feeling a little down or low in energy, it will help bring you back up. And if you're feeling a little too high in energy, it can bring you back down. Again, to a neutral state. The breath is in and out through the nose. If you have any kind of congestion and you need to breathe through the mouth, certainly do so. So as we come into that seated position, our spine is nice and tall, but let's soften it a little. As we breathe, we want to make sure the spine is comfortable, upright but soft. A nice cleansing breath to start. Full inhale. Full exhale. And we'll begin inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one here. Inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep inhale here on your own. Full exhale, cleansing breath. And then return to breathe normally. Well done today. Thank you for joining this practice to help connect with yourself as a part of our 7-day self-love challenge. Be sure to come back tomorrow for day 3, where we learn to accept ourselves. And also make sure you go into the links to get your free workbook with all of the journal prompts. Hands to the chest, or hands to the heart and chins to the chest. Feeling deep gratitude for yourself today, taking time for this practice. And of course, from me, with peace, love, and gratitude. Namaste.